You know, Scarbrand's pulling out all the stops when he takes his namesake into battle here, and we've got the thrilling conclusion between Scarbrand himself and Berserk here in the Faction Master Tournament, Game 3 of their series. The winner takes the series itself, and Scarbrand is gone with his main faction. Khorne, of course, Scarbrand himself leading the way. We've got the Hellforged Bellowers and Karnak for 3 elite single entities. Some Marauders of Khorne, as well as some mounted Marauders here with their double throwing axes. Chaos Warhounds, and some more out on this flank as well. Opposing them, Berserk's Skaven. You gotta respect taking Tretch in a pivotal tournament game. He's also got a Plague Priest to back him up, as well as an Eshin Sorcerer, so double caster. Let's take a look at the spells. Eshin Sorcerer is rocking Warp Stars, maybe? Hang on. Veil of Shadows, actually, and Brittle Bone. Very interesting. Some debuff, and the Veil of Shadows is like the Disruption ability that doesn't deal any damage, but can allow units to path through if need be. Very interesting. And then the Plague Boy is here, rocking, I would imagine, Summons? Yeah, just Summons only. And then he's got the Rat Ogres, including the Regiments of Renown here. Doom Flares as well. Lots of Chaff units, Clan Rat Spears, Skaven Slaves, and Night Runners as well. For some ranged DPS. And both players are going to take some time positioning in this early game. You can see it is Conquest, of course, so Khorne is going to take the objective and start to rack up some victory points. Skaven, meanwhile, Berserk, kind of sliding his army along the rim of this big old crater here. Of course, having a high ground advantage does give you some significant benefits. So it makes sense that you'd want to try and force the engagement, you know, where Scarbrand is fighting uphill, if at all possible. But the Hellforged Bellowers is going to stop and shoot. Often, Khorne's main weakness is cited as getting kited, so it would make sense why the build construction from the Skaven would be this way, have some skirmish units, but Scarbrand, being the veteran Khorne player that he is, definitely knows how to try and avoid being kited here. He's got plenty of skirmish cavalry of his own, some fast attack units, and of course the Hellforged Bellowers are a great ranged response, especially to like infantry skirmishers in particular, right? These Night Runners don't really have the speed to be able to dodge effectively or close the distance excuse me, to disrupt the Hellforged Bellowers. So let's see how things play out. The balance of power already is sort of favoring Skaven a little bit, which is a little bit interesting, but nonetheless. Karnak moving up, and Scarbrand looking to see if they can maybe tangle directly with these Doom Flayers. Armor-piercing throwing axes also kind of hanging around a little bit. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful volley there. Flaming axes landing amidst Skaven machines. Not doing a ton of damage, but, you know, just keeping things honest. So far, the Hellforged Bellowers used up half its base ammunition. Of course, can replenish more by fighting in melee. Skull Feast. But, yeah, it's used some ammo already. 86 kills, almost 500 damage value. So getting some pretty good work done on those Night Runners. Ooh, yeah. Another really nice shot landing there. So this skirmish phase will go on for some time. You can see Berserk kind of coming down from the rim of the hill, since he is in a way outranged here, especially by the Hellforged Bellowers. I mean, he could just try and wait out all of its ammunition, force it to engage in melee. But you see Scarbrand gets a really nice breath attack down the line of those Clan Rat Spears, help even out the numbers here. You don't often see the breath attack being used for Scarbrand, but it definitely can be used to good effect if placed in the right place at the right time. Here, Scarbrand pulls Skaven formation apart a little bit with that Rage embodied, trying to separate those Rat Ogres from the Clan Rat Spears. The Rat Ogres, in a mob especially, if they're all able to surround Scarbrand, they will do a lot of damage to him. You can see Berserk also pouring in whatever range fire he has, try and damage Scarbrand. He is a big, scary monster after all, and Skaven need to do whatever they can to take him down. Right now, though, Skaven are kind of letting themselves get surrounded a little bit. Berserk came to fight down at the center of the crater, which does give him the objective, but also means that there are Khorne forces on all sides now. Granted, Khorne forces are not particularly meaty. They're not going to stand up to a straight-up engagement, but they don't necessarily need to. Chaos Warhound's going to be put to great work here, chasing some rat ogres. Meanwhile, the Hellforge Bellowers got a little bit close there. Is itself going to be chased by the Doom Flayers for some beautiful motorcycle action. Absolute road rally. It's not an engagement I've ever seen before, but I see something new every day. I love the color scheme on the Doom Flayers as well. Super, super cool. Very Khorne approved, I would imagine. But the Hellforge Bellowers, you can see, taking massive armor-piercing damage from those Flayers. Lots of unit models in a surround, good armor-piercing weapon strength, even armor sundering to tear away a little bit more of the armor from the Hellforge Bellowers. But meanwhile, the Marauder Horsemen just kind of sliding alongside, using some of their ammo. Yeah, Khorne doing a little bit of a kite game here, honestly, which is impressive to see. Skaven, of course, lacking Skirmish Cavalry, are a faction that they can do this to. But the Hellforge Bellowers continuing to make its presence felt here. Let's check in with our important single entities. So far, Karnak's taken very little damage. Skarbrand's about half HP, maybe like 55% or so. Hellforge Bellowers taking about 50% HP damage, but does have some capacity to heal through Gore Feast. There's some considerations on both sides. Ooh, we see the Sweet Disruption spell. Not really sure what it's accomplishing there. That the Clan Rats are no doubt going to lose that engagement anyway, but I don't know. Maybe he accidentally selected that one and actually thought it was the damaging one, which I can definitely empathize with, but let's see here. Karnak and the Marauders chasing those regrouped rat ogres. The Marauders on foot, moving into melee. Let's get in close and watch them get torn to shreds by the dual prong charge of the rat ogres. Some Doom Flayers mixed in here. A bloody good time, as they say. I love the color schemes on both sides too. The fact that the Khorne and the Skaven are both wearing appropriate shades of red for the occasion. But taking a look at the overall battlefield here, I mean, Khorne was pretty thin on the ground, just a handful of Marauders, a lot of mobile units that aren't particularly tanky, so Skarbrand's having to be careful about when and where he engages. Right now, the balance power, which already wasn't in his favor, is tipped even further against him, as he's taking damage on various units. Karnak gets surrounded here, which is a potential disaster. We're going to see a breath attack land from Skarbrand. Gets some good contact there. Don't know how much damage it actually did, but Sword of Khorne as well, just to make sure that Karnak is able to extricate himself, which he did before this sword even landed anyway, but still does some nice AoE damage, blasts out some supporting infantry. Does a little bit of damage to the Rat Ogres as well, but yeah, I mean, there's still two pretty healthy units of Rat Ogres, the Doom Flayer, Regiment of Renown mixed in here as well. That's a lot of armor-piercing, really nasty armor-piercing death blob. So, you know, contrary to what you might expect, Khorne's going to have to not take a melee engagement for the time being, really work through these Marauder Horsemen, try and play almost more of like a Beastman game, where they're trying to pick your opponent apart, isolate various units, get favorable engagements. Again, using these Chaos Warhounds, which Skarbrand has done a great job of preserving, to be honest. I definitely would have thrown them away already. A couple of healthy units that still remain can chase routing units and make sure that Khorne doesn't get too far behind. We do get some summoned Plague Monks here. Again, decent spend on Winds of Magic. They are anti-infantry. And we'll be able to clean up whatever else. They'll do great against the Hounds if they can get the hang of them. Chaos Warhounds, of course, counting as infantry size, but that is if they can get a hold of them. Meanwhile, Skarbrand pulling back, refreshing some abilities here. Skaven, once again, still surrounded. Positionally, Skarbrand has been doing a great job of keeping his units in a surround and not really letting units kind of get isolated himself. Can be tricky sometimes when you're the player in the surrounding position. Another breath attack there lands. Not the greatest contact, maybe because of the slope there. It does get some damage. But, yeah, Karnak also just having to be very wise about where he engages. Doesn't want to just throw things away here. But he does still have a couple casters to potentially hunt down. Tretch himself has taken some damage. Not too much, but right now being used sort of as bait to try and pull Skarbrand in to get circle beaten by the Rat Ogres. Debuff incoming. Brittlebone does actually decrease his speed, as well as melee defense. And Vigor, which is now ticking over to Very Tired, will speed him towards exhaustion. But still is not enough for the Rat Ogres to be able to catch. They themselves are already exhausted. So they turn to smack Karnak. And are very close to finishing him off. I honestly, yeah, like 600 HP on Karnak. But a really nice screen from Skarbrand. Right as his namesake gets an engagement against Tretch here. You can see Karnak uses Snare as well. Pulls up and around. Very dangerous. If Tretch gets one attack, Karnak's dead. But Tretch is getting stagger-locked and absolutely brutally beaten down by Khorne single entities, gets routed off here, and Karnak eats his lunch. So there you go. With the loss of leadership, the Skaven units are going to be a lot more likely to rout here. Yeah, we see already terror routes and regular routes kicking up for a lot of different units. Are they immune to psychology? Yeah, the Pit Fighters of Hell's Deep are immune to psychology baseline, which is quite nice for Rat Ogres. They tend to get terrified pretty easily, but even as it is, Khorne can't stay and fight too long. They have to disengage here, play it smart, even through this late game. Hellforge Bellower, still alive, has managed to replenish quite a bit of ammo, and see firing point blank into the Rat Ogres and the Gutter Runners there. Honestly, not super impressive damage on that volley. But now the Hounds also can be used as a late-game screening force, so again, Skarbrand showing the value of not just throwing your Hounds away early in the battle, which again is my traditional tactic with them. But here he's going to charge from multiple directions, try and take out this unit here. Karnak forced into demonic instability, and he is going to recover with 85 HP left. Wow, I thought for sure he was done. That's insane. Less than 100 HP. He manages to recover and send Tretch flying into the Shadow Realm. Yeah, just continuously speeding his flight towards the edge of the map here. Putting it quite literally. But let's see. I'd imagine if Karnak just gets, like, touched by anything, he's just going to crumble. But we'll see. We shall see. Right now, his leadership seems somewhat stable. Yeah, the Hounds just, again, continuing to not engage. It is Conquest, and the Khorne has managed to hold the objective for quite some time, so yeah, there's, a little less than a minute left of objective time for Skarbrand to be able to just take a victory that way, but let's see, maybe he can finish it in combat, or maybe Berserk can get back, claim the objective. Right now he's got these Clan Vulcan's Tail Slashers. They're going to try and get some capture weight on here. The rest of the Skaven forces, the Doom Flayers just riding across the desert. Very epic. Going to come in and help defend this objective. Skaven under Berserk just rushing all their units down for their final stand. Just definitely the right call, absolutely. Make sure you don't get killed on the victory tickets here, and make sure that... yeah, they have to do it the honest and old-fashioned way. Again, Karnak being used to chase routing units here. While he just has 85 HP, it's just really smart use from Skarbrand not to lose that asset even in this late stage of the game. It's definitely put on a masterclass here of how to, preserve your units in a situation like this and not just needlessly waste HP on unnecessary engagements. Yeah, Hounds still with so much HP and ready for action. Hellforge Bellowers might as well use up whatever ammunition you have. It's not going to be super effective against the Doom Flayers because of their kind of spread formation and the scatter shot of the Hellforge Bellowers, but let's see. Ooh, actually makes pretty good contact there on the Dwarf Thing Menace. Manages to direct hit a couple of the unit models there. They also sort of sit in the flames and take a little bit more damage over time. There's no other ammunition left on anything else, so it's just the Hellforge Bellowers taking shots, but Berserk doesn't want to just sit and take it. Kind of tries to charge out, but Skarbrand himself moves in the late game. Gonna pop that Enrage. and move in to finish these casters with all his Marauder Horsemen backing him up, and the remaining Hounds. Hellforge Bellower's getting in here. Where's Karnak? Is he also still alive somehow? Yep, over here hunting down the caster for the Skaven. Finally fulfilling his destiny. And a nice photo finish there. What a series. What a game. Absolutely excellently played to both these players here. They put on a great show for us, and yeah, it gave us some really, really excellent games. Super fun stuff. And like I said, somewhat unusual build style for Khorne to be the one kiting, but I really like the execution here from Skarbrand. Very patient. Did a great job of using these Hounds, including Karnak, to best effect. 340 kills, 30,000 damage dealt on the Hellforge Bellowers. Key piece to be able to enable a build like this to work effectively, especially against a horde like the Skaven. Lurk definitely brought some serious numbers here to back him up. And ultimately, the Clan Rats didn't really do much. I mean, you don't necessarily expect them to, but they are a little bit more expensive chaff than some of your other options. Night Runners, Gutter Runners actually mixed in here as well. Did decently well. The Gutter Runners in particular did quite a bit better than the Night Runners. I almost think maybe for Berserk, you trim these Clan Rat spears down to Skaven Slave spears, maybe put the extra funds towards taking like 4 Gutter Runners, since they seem to be super effective here. Yeah, the Rat Ogre Blob also quite dangerous, didn't end up getting a ton of value itself, but definitely very threatening throughout the course of the match, so fun stuff for sure. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Just really, really awesome game. Probably the best game I've seen in a month or more at least. I don't know. We did have quite a few really close games in the past. What was that, like 2-3 weeks ago? Anyway, time's flying by when you're having fun. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and you know what, do me a favor. If one of my videos is suggested down below, go ahead and click on it for me. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.